Hello guys and welcome to my channel Knowledge Transfer. In today's topic we are going to cover how to create the calendar currency chart of accounts and a primary ledger. Let me write it. How to create a calendar currency chart of account and at last primary ledger in Oracle Fusion. So to record a transaction in Oracle Fusion, we need to make sure that we had done the setups calendar, currency, and chart of accounts. So first let me talk about calendar. To create a calendar, we should make sure like whether we are doing the business in which country. Let's say if we are doing the business in India, we are going to use a financial year that will be like 1st April till 31st March, as everyone knows that. And apart from that, if we are doing the business in USA and how your client is maintaining the calendar, whether they are going to maintain the calendar from 1st January till 31st December or from one financial year to another financial year. And we should make sure like what are the period type they are going to maintain, like whether the period should be monthly or whether the period is in quarterly or half yearly or annually. Anyways, so let's say if we are going to use period type as monthly, then we need to create 12 period. Apart from that, in Oracle Fusion, we can create more than 12 period, and that we call as adjustment period. So let me write it here. Financial year. We need to know that how they are going to maintain, whether they are going to do the business in India, US, based on client requirement. We are going to take that. Next, period type. Whether they are going to maintain their calendar a period as a monthly basis. We'll see that in the system also. Monthly, quarterly, or yearly. And the very last thing, we should make sure that we will be suggesting to our client to have an at least one adjustment period. Adjustment period are those period where we will be recording all the miscellaneous transactions. So adjustment period. And how many adjustment period we can create? There are most probably it's more than 50, which I know, but we will be cross-checking the system as well now. There are many person who are going to say like adjustment period, it's not fixed. Like we can create as many as we want, but it's not. We can create something called as 56, I guess, but we'll be making sure in the system while doing the setups as well. Let's talk about currency now. So we have three types of currencies. Firstly, we have functional, means local currency. Next, we have foreign currency. The last, we have stat currency. Functional or local currency means Supposingly, if we are doing the business in India and we are going to make a transactions in INR, for us we will for us we will be having the foreign currency or functional currency and local currency is INR then. Apart from INR, any currencies, if we are dealing it, that we call as foreign currency. And what is that currency then? Stat currency means it's not a currency basically, like you can say 50 kg. It's like it's not a currency, but we can use it as a currency, 50 kg or any other thing, let's say meters and all, we can make sure. And that we use for many kind of transaction as well, or in later portion if we are going to talk about allocation and all, we are using stat currency to distribute the rent. That we'll be talking it into the further purpose. For now, make sure, like, just keep in mind, make a note, stat currency we are treating as a currency, but it's not a currency like kg and meters and all. Hope I was clear till now. Or else, if a person is seeing the cricket and all, you can make it as a score and all, 100 score. Now sounds good. So we have talking about calendar currency. Now let's talk about chart of accounts. Hmm, Chart of accounts. So why we create chart of accounts? For reporting purpose, like, and maintaining the accounts in a proper way. So how we used to create a chart of account, and how we used to finalize the chart of accounts, we are going to see that. Firstly, let's make more simple. Department, and let's take account first. We have a company called as, let's say, Bell Bell Trading, let's say, and we do have Bell Financial Services. And Bell Trading Company and Bell Financial Services, ultimately we have one company called as Bell, and we do have the company Bell company who are giving the services as like Bell Trading and Bell Financial Services, or we can give for a proper way Bell BPO Services. BPO Services. So now let's understand that we have a company called as Bell, that are dealing in the giving the service as BPO services and financial services. And for maintaining that, we do have a department. And what are the department we have? Let's say finance. We do have HR department, payroll department, sales department. An account, I believe many people will know that, like, whatever the accounts we are going to use for doing the transaction, that we call as that we are going to maintain as a account. For example, let's say, mm, salaries account, services account. Let's take one more as cash account. So how we can create a chart of account? We can create the chart of account in GL under accounting key flex fill. In accounting key flex fill, we can maintain company key information to capture as a description for each and every transactions. Like it will help us to get the detail of the transaction. Let's say you have done a business from Bell Services. The code was 100 and finance code was 111 and you have taken as 112. If you are debiting the account as 100.111.112 and this is debit, right? So it is easy for us to keep a track, like 100 is belongs to Bell BPO services, and we have used the department call as finance, and we had used the account call as 112, and we have done the transactions of 100. Hope I was clear till now. Now let's see how we gonna set up all this. First, let's understand what are the setups required to create a chart of accounts. So firstly, we have create create chart of accounts setups. Let me write it. Setups. Firstly, we have create value set. Okay. Then create chart of account structure. Then create segment. Assign value set to segment. Then assign segment label to segment. We'll see that what do I mean by value set or segment label. We'll first understand, then we'll be going through the system as well. Assign value set to segment. Once we're done, then create, let me write in short, chart of accounts structure. Oh my god, struct, what happened today? Structure instance. Okay. Okay, chart of accounts structure instance. Then deploy accounting structure. Once we are done with the deployment, we can create the value set values. Then you can assign value as accounting attributes as well. Let's understand. Just give me a minute. I will go and come back very soon. So, yeah, done. We can call this as a segment values. It's okay. This is also fine. And the last we can give it as a assign value attributes to segment values. Now let's understand one by one what setups means what and why we need to do that. So creating a value set. So value set it's act as a container to create segment related values. What I mean it, let me talk it about. Whenever we are going to create a segment, we need to make sure that we are assigning the value set, right? So in order to assign the value set, we need to create first value set. So how we are deciding the segment? Let me correct the spelling. How we are designing the segment? Based upon the reporting requirement of a client, we are going to decide a segment. So let's see, let's say we have a client ABC client. Let's say we will take Bell only then. We have a client as Bell, and based upon the reporting requirement, we are going to take as a company. Obviously, this is the mandatory one. Then account, then department. So company account department, intercompany. I will explain why I'm taking all this. Yeah, and future one. Let me write. I will explain that. And future two. So based upon the reporting requirement, our client had decided these are all the segments which they are going to use for the future purpose. Once we are decided with the segment, we need to make sure the same we need to create it as a value set. Why we need to create a value set? Because whatever the values which we are going to create, that we can't create in segment directly. We need to make sure we should have a value set. Under the value set only we can create the values. Let's say we have a segment, right? Then we do have a value set, and we will be having as a values. And how it looks? Let me show you. Segment will be company. Value set also we can create it as a Bell company and company. And values will be Bell BPO services. Sorry. Wait, copy. And values are this. I hope you are clear till now. Segment, value set, and values. And why we are creating value set first? Just because while creating the segment, we need to make sure that we are assigning the value set to a segment. Let's say we have created a segment called as company, then we need to make sure that value set of Bell company should be assigned to the company. When we'll be going through the system, I hope you will be clear. It will be making more sense and it will be making more clear. So these are all the value set. Then these are all the segment as well. Or you can change the name of the value set and segment doesn't affect, but you should make sure like how they are assigning to each other. It's not that like you had changed the name and later you got confused and account you had mapped to company. It should not be like this. Value set. Mm, mm. Let me make it as it is Oracle. Then let's make it at this one. Then so that's the reason we are creating the value set. Then create chart of account structure. Structure is nothing but the top, like a bell structure, like company name, you can give it as a bell, and later you can give all the segments we need to create under the bell itself for based upon the reporting requirement. Here we are going to create the chart of account structure and segment, as I had already mentioned. Segment is nothing like based upon the reporting requirement. We are going to select the segment. Let me explain. Excuse me. Sorry. So segment company, as we know, it is a mandatory one. Account also, and obviously department will be there in any of the company. And why we are taking as an intercompany? Sometimes the company says like we do have two services, like two companies, Bell BPO services and Bell Financial Services, and all are giving the service, taking all are taking the services from the supplier and giving the services to the customer. Till here it is okay. Now the point is, if there is a requirement like Bell BPO services need financial services from Bell Financial Services. In that type of case, we can use the intercompany. And how it gonna help? Like we can use the value set, same value set as well for company and intercompany. And later, if they are doing any transactions, they can easily keep a track like what are the intercompany transaction has been done. That we call as intercompany. Most of the company used to prefer it like there should be one intercompany transaction. And these are all the future one and future two. Why I have taken as a future one, future two as a segment? Just because once we are done by creating the chart of accounts, we can't edit the chart of accounts. So for the Oracle best practices, we should have at least two future segments. And how many segments we can create? So basically, we can create up to 30 segments, but none of the client will be using at least 30 segment. They are going to use max to max 7 to 8 segment, which I had seen till now, whatever the project I had worked. And what are the mandatory segments of this? The mandatory segments are company and account. And why it is mandatory? Just because once we are done with the creating of the segments and create values, assign value set to the segment, we need to assign segment label as well. What is segment label? Let me write first. Natural account segment label, and department we need cost center. Hmm, Cost center segment label, and here we do have intercompany segment label. So we have this all segment. Apart from this, we do have more segment label as well, but we are not going to use that much. It's not visible as well. So, so we should make sure that we are assigning primary balancing segment label to company. Why we are assigning primary balancing segment label to company is just because let's say we have created a debit line of Bell BPO service and the code was 100, right? So the the system should make sure like the credit line should also balance with 100. So debit and credit should be balanced with the same 100. Otherwise, it should be treating as an intercompany transaction or else it can throw an error. And the next we have natural account segment label. Why we are assigning natural account segment label? So that system should understand and give us the authority like to set what are the values we have, whether it's belong to expense account or you can say liability account or any of the account. Once we had assigned natural account segment label to account, then only we are getting the value attribute and there should be like two, three more attributes. There we can assign whether the values belong to the expense account or some kind of like liability account, asset account, or anything. It will be helping us. And department. Mostly these two are only the mandatory one, and other all rest of the account on segment level are not mandatory. But we should make sure that we should use cost center segment level, otherwise it will be giving an issues in the fixed asset as well as in the expense module. Now, in that detail, I don't want to go right now. And the next we have intercompany segment level. As I had already explained, this will help us to keep a track and to balance the company. Like it should make sure that this other transaction has been performed from intercompany, and it will help us to create a more two lines. Let's say you had done a transaction from 100, okay, as a debit, and you had credit 200 means Bell Financial Services credit. What system will do is system will create more additional intercompany line as, let me show, and it will look final, and it will become credit and debit. And these are the system generated intercompany lines, and which will be helping us to cross check like whether the intercompany transaction has been done or not, and somewhere many more. So I hope I was clear till now. Till segment label we had completed it. And the next we have create chart of account structure instance. Why we are creating a chart of account structure instance is just because whenever we are going to create a primary ledger, we are not going to see in that page chart of account structure. So we should make sure that we are going to create chart of account structure instance. Structure instance is nothing but a copy of a structure, chart of account structure, and there we can set like whether which other segment is required or not, whether there are some more features like let's say default balancing segment values, like you knows like some of the segments are fixed that we can make it as a default, and we have some more like sort and aliases, and we will see that dynamic code combinations as well. Once we are done with the chart of account structure instance, one thing more, one interesting fact is whether we have one chart of account structure, but we can create multiple chart of account structure instance. The system are not going to stop us. Once we are done, we will be deploying the accounting structure. Why we are deploying the accounting structure? Just because the system will be creating the balancing cube, and in detail level I will not go. Just we should deploy it, otherwise it will not allow you to use it. And next we have create value set values. Value set values means under company, these are the two values. These are the services we are going to provide. And the same way we have account. Then for account, what are the value set values? The value set values will be salary, service, cash, asset account, and some more. And assign value attributes to segment values. What are the values attributes? Uh, Let me show you. As we had assigned natural account segment label to account, the value attribute, the what we are going to assign is like whether the account belongs to the owner's equity and what type of expense it is, and whether it's belong to liability, whether it belongs to expense, and what are the account that we call as the value attributes. So once we are done with all the chart of account structure and all, so we had covered calendar, currency, chart of accounts, yes, all the setups. And last, as I was going planning, like we will be going to create the primary ledger as well. I'll just create the primary ledger now, and we will be I will be going a bit in an explanation mode of primary ledger in the next session. So here, just we should make sure to create a primary ledger, we should have calendar, currency, and chart of accounts. And one more thing is accounting method that I will explain. Today we will be just be creating till chart of accounts. I will just create a primary ledger just to show it, and in the next sessions I will explain it. CORRENCY. Done. Let's start with the first one. So here we have, I had already created a ID for myself, and I had given two rules. That rules are like application implementation consultant and IT security manager. And why we had given that rule is just because we should be able to see the setups and maintenance. And this is the setups and maintenance areas. And hope I believe you guys knows like how we are reaching over here. From here we will be covering it. Let's start with the first one. So first we will be going to create the accounting calendar. So manage accounting calendar. Here we had landed to the manage accounting calendar page. Click on create, and I will be writing as a bell calendar. You can give the start date. Let's say I will be giving the start date as January, and period frequency if frequency is this, as I was mentioning the period type. This you can note it as well. Prefix if you want to use anything, and separator as I will be taking as this format. And which are the format you are going to take? Let's say if you want the name should be MMNYY, means 20 year should be 25, then it will become as 25, and the month is 01, then it will become as 01. And the same way we have many. So let's take this one. And here is the adjustment period. How many adjustment period you want to give it, you can decide it from here. Once at the beginning of year and once at the end of the year. Or once you want it in the media and twice at the end of the year, that all it's possible. Let's take, we will be taking once at the, we will be taking as, let's take a simple one. Uh, once at, let's take this. And be, you should not enable the checkbox call as budgetary control. Why? Because this is related to budget. Just try to ignore it and click on next. And here we have created. Hope this is easy to EBS. In EBS, you need to create multiple times like this type of calendar. And here is just one button. You have created the calendar. And the same way we do have two adjustment period. The first one is on this, as we had mentioned in once at the beginning and once at the end of the year. Yeah, it has came over here. And the same now, as you can see, the calendar is just for the 2005, right? So we want some more year to be captured. Or if you want from the previous year, same way, you can give the start date for the previous year and it will be creating the same. Now you want to add some year, click on save. It's taking a bit time. Yeah. So once you had save, you can create multiple number of years just by clicking on the add here. Just click on here, add here, and you can see, click on all. See, 26 has been created. Getting my point? Hope you are clear till now. So we have created the calendar and it was quite simple. It's not that complicated, but based on the requirement of the client, whether you want to use how many numbers of adjustment period, that we can select it. Oh, I had forgot to cover one thing. Let me show you. As I was talking, like many people are saying there are n number of adjustment period we can create, but it's not. There is some limit that we call as 56, I believe, and let me show that as well. Let's say test adjustment, right? Give any, just I will be showing you. I believe it has changed then. Prior to this, I was able to see like how many adjustment period you want. You should be giving the number as well. Maybe you want one adjustment period, two adjustment period, and the same way we can give it. Okay, ignore it. So we are done. We are done with the calendar. Now we will be seeing the currency. So we don't need to create any currencies and all. We just need to check whether the currency which we are going to use it is enabled by the system or not. By default, Oracle is providing all the seeded currency. So let's see that. Manage currencies. US. Yeah, it's enabled. We'll be going to use US. So it's enable US. Save and close. This much only. Now let's focus on chart of accounts. So let's create first setup is create value set. Create chart of account. Create chart of account value set. As a prefix, I will be setting as Bell company. Give it the same description, and the module will be GL module. General ledger. Validation type independent. Independent means like it will not be dependent on other. Let's say there will be some dependent value set as well. Means if we are going to put a values in dependent value set, it will ask for independent also. So in for creation of the chart of account, always make sure that you are selecting as a independent. And validation type is character. And security enable is some other features like there used to be some requirement whether the client want the segment segment values of company of 100 should be visible to particular account. That time we used to create a segment and we used to enable segment enable, and we used to create some segment rules. And validation type tags. And what should be the length of the values? Let's say we will take 3. Then save and close. Create some more. Company we are done. Bell account. Take it as a general ledger. Independent character. And the same with text. Account we can take it as a 4 and make it save and close. Then in the same way Bell department. Take it as a general ledger. Same, sorry, independent character, take it as a text and make it as a 4. Save and close. Department also as well. Then take it as intercompany. take it as a 4. So we are done with the 4 segment, but we need to make sure that we are going to use a future segment as well. Let me write future one. General ledger, independent character. We will see how it will be assigned to the segment as well. We are done with the bell future as well. Future 2, copy, paste, general ledger, independent character, text. Let's take it as a 4. Save and close. Let's check we had covered all or not. Bell account, company, department, feature 1, feature 2, intercompany. Right? So how was it? Company, account, department, intercompany, feature 1, feature 2. Okay, makes sense. Now we are, as a part of the second setup, it was is chart of account structure. Right? Search for manage chart of account structure. Click on it. Click on search. As I had already mentioned, under the GL, under accounting flex field, we are going to create a chart of accounts. So click on manage structure. Click on create. This we call as Bell. We'll call as, and they give the name as Bell. Let's say COA. 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 Give the delimiter like how it should be separated. I'm giving as a dot. Click on save. Then click on add, create. First, we are going to create a company, right? Copy the company, paste it here, description here, and the sequence number like company should be at the top or company should be at the bottom based upon that. Let's say we will be going company first, and account, then department, then intercompany, then future one, future two. Same way. Prompt name means like short name you can also mention. Prompt name, short name, short prompt name. You can give it as a company and short name as a short prompt as a COMP. We'll give it as a both. Let's give it here company and here COMP. Display like what should be the range of the area that will be that client and that user will be able to see display with. We will be giving another 5 means 5 characters. Column name is segment name, and as I had already mentioned that we are able to create only till 30 segments. So if you will see over here, I believe you should see 30. Yeah, 30. This you can ignore it. Segment 30. Click on segment number 1. This is the segment number 1. And as I had already mentioned, we should be assigning primary balancing segment to the company and a value set as well. The value set was Bell, right? Bell company. So I hope now you are able to understand why we are creating the value set first, then segment later, and values at the last because we are assigning value set to the segment. And once we are done with all this, then only we are going to create the value set values. So we are done with all this. We had assigned value set here. We had assigned segment label also here. And we have created a segment as well. So we are done with the one segment. Let's create some more. Segment then we'll be creating a department. Sorry, let's take account. This should be 2. Here we are taking as an account and here we will be taking as ACC. Display with I will be taking as a 5 character. Column should be segment 2. As you can see, segment 1 is gone. 2. And for this we do have a value set that we have created as Bell account. And to for account we should be assigning natural account segment. Done. Let's create department. Segment number 3, create as a department, short term PT, display with, we can take this. So we had already done with the 3 segment. Let's create the 2 segment, then this is the second one, and click on search. Well, should be department. Department, we are assigning a cost center segment label. Then we do have intercompany. Sequences for COM. Display with 5 segment, 3 segment, then take it as a 4 segment values. Ideally, the segment we should not see, but if we are seeing this as well, intercompany. Really, we should not see the other segment, but it is showing, but it's okay. You can ignore. You should remember it. Which other segments? Column name segment has been used. Intercompany segment, we need to assign it over here. Then save and close. So we are done with company account, department, intercompany, and create at the last future one. Let's take small. Future one is company account, department, intercompany. 4 done. 5. This one is the 5, right? Display with 4. Segment will be 5. Here we don't need to assign any of the labels. Done. And the last but not the least, it should be future 2. Sequence number is 6, I believe. 6. Future 2. Done. So here we are done with all the. Let's see what are the setups we have completed. So we have created a value set. We do created a chart of account structure. We have created a segment, we had assigned value set to segment. We had also assigned segment label to segment. So till here we have created. Now let's create a chart of account structure instance. It is nothing but a copy of chart of accounts. You will see how. In the last time we have gone to manage structure. Now we will be clicking on manage chart of account structure instance and click on create. Here you can see you can give the same name, well chart of account, paste, and select the chart of accounts. So all the segments and value set has came over here. You just need to select and click on action, add it, and click on required. Do it for all. Required, and this also required. Then once we are done with all this, and regarding the sort and aliases and whatever the default types and all, we can give it as a constant when you give the value. This all we will be seeing in the later video. For now, you should be clear with all the concept, like how we are going to create a chart of accounts and what are the mandatory things we should be making sure. Once you are done, click on save and close. Let's see, instance came. Yes, it has came. Click on done. So here we are done with instance as well. Now we do need to create chart of account structure. Oh, sorry, not create, deploy chart of account structure. Let me write it. It's not make sounds good. Chart of account structure. Yes. So how we need to go create it in the same landing page like manage chart of account structure. There were three icons: manage structure instance, and deploy. So we are already created manage chart of account structure, and the same instance also we have created. Now we just need to deploy it. It will be taking some time. Let me mute my mic for timing purpose. It will be no, it's already 15 done, right? That's okay. We can wait a bit. Ideally, it used to take time whenever I am testing some of the scenario. It used to take time, but today it is not taking time. That's cool. Apart from this, any types of topic, if you guys need it, let me know. I'll be creating a proper video of that as well and uploading it. You can drop in the chat box or anywhere. Like if you need my personal email ID as well, I am happy to share with you guys. So we are done with all the deployments. Once we are done with all the deployments and all, it will be showing as a deployment status as green tick. So deployment is done. Now we have create value set values. I will not be creating multiple value set values just because to show you guys, I will be creating, let's say, two values. Um, two values, and that will be enough. So under which value set, let's say Bell company, I need to create some values. So search for the Bell company, click on manage values, click on add. 100 should be, what was 100? Let me see that. Bell BPO service, right? In the same way, we do have Bell financial service. Let me create some more. Mm, we are done with this company. Then let's create account. Yeah, I need to show you guys account as well. Like, what are the benefit of assigning natural account segment? Let's say if we are creating any of the account, 100 account. Let me give 9. Let make more sense. 3 series. Description. Let's say retain earning account. Why I am creating retain earning account? It's just because it's just sorry here. Just because it's a part of a mandatory field while creating primary after creating a primary ledger and completing the primary ledger. We'll be seeing that as well. So retain earning account. Once we are given with the retain earning account, how does it belong? Whether it belong to liability, expense, asset, revenue. So I'll be taking as a owner's equity. I will be explaining as I am not going to give any retain earning account and completing the primary ledger. I'm just going to create the primary ledger. So I am just showing you owner's equity. I will be just creating one. Reconciliation, enable reconciliation, yes or no. I am selecting yes or no. Financial categories, it's account payables, accounts receivable, anything you can take it. And this is the third party control, like whether this account should be used in the GL or not. From here, you can keep a control as well. And there are some more important points which I want to, yeah, whether allow posting or allow budgeting or not. Means whether with this account, with this value, you want user should be able to record the transaction or not. If you will be selecting as a yes, summary as a yes, and no, no as a allow posting and allow budgeting, system will be tracking that as a parent value. So I just created account for showing. Now I'll just create a primary ledger once and we can end up this session. So as I had mentioned at the first, sorry, here I guess we need calendar, currency, chart of accounts, and accounting method. Accounting method is the seeded one. We can take it as a standard accrual, and if you base upon some of the certain requirement of the client, you want accounting that should be taken with certain types of circumstances. Let's say if supplier is Bell, then only the account should be taking as 100 or else it should not. Based upon that, we can create a custom SLA and we can create our custom accounting method. For now, we can take it as a standard accrual. And the currency, as I had mentioned, we had checked USD dollar is unable, so we will be taking USD dollar. Account, we can, calendar, we are taking as a Bell calendar, which we had created, and Bell chart of account. Name, we can give it as a Bell PL, primary ledger. Hope I had make some sense and save and close. Till here we are done, but still primary ledger it's not completed. Why? Just because we need to provide retain earning account and there are many more things like not more we can basically we can give. Let's check if any error will come, we will be solving then and there, or else I haven't created many values as well. Let's I should have created. Oh, it is taking. Here we need to provide the retain earning account. Then only the specify ledger option used to be completed. Here you can see if I will search for values, it will not have. But as as we haven't created any values for account, We had just created only for company Bell BPO service and account only for retain earning account. Department and all we haven't created. So let's quickly create it. Mm, for all as a default as 000 just to complete the primary ledger. I hope I was clear. If any kind of clarity or any kind of confusion any of the guys will be feeling it, please feel free to put in the chat box or else you can take my email as well and drop there. So what was the department? Let's take finance department as 111. 111 finance. Then take it all the default one. Save and close. Let's take current department and future. We can take it as 0000 default. Okay. Same future too. We can take it as default. And intercompany. Take it as 0000 defaults. Once we are done, now let me check whether the values had came or not. Here, yeah, came. Well, BPO, it's belong to retain earning account. Department we can take it as this, and all else we can take it as 0000. Mm, mm, mm. It's been long video. Okay, done. And the rest you can ignore it. It's not a part of the mandatory field. That's the reason. Oh yes, journal language. Take it as an American one. US, yeah, American English. These two are the mandatory field. Save and close. Mhm. Now, once we had given the retained earning account, we need to perform means complete the primary ledger. For that, we need to search for the task called as review and submit accounting configuration. Click on it. And status is green. Confirm. Then submit. Then then manage primary ledger. It's under process. Once it is done, it will be make it as a green. Let's see it. It's running. It's running. So this is how we we create a primary ledger. We need to make sure that we have calendar currency chart of accounts and accounting convention method. Once we are done with all four C's, then we can create a primary ledger. It's running. Mhm. Okay, guys, so I am ending this session here itself, and in the next topic, I will be coming up with something new. Like and subscribe the channel for more videos or more additional topics you want. You can pin me that, and I will make a proper video on that, and I will be submitting it, sharing it with you guys with a proper explanation. So this is how we have created. See, it as a green. Why green? We have run the review and submit accounting configuration. That's the reason. Succeeded, completed. So guys, thank you.